Or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Amp2.tv presents Tell Us Your Business, where you're invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important we hear from you to tell us all we need to know about what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on amp2.tv. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-565-1470. Now, let's get ready as our guest hits the airwaves and informs us about what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
And happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome to Tell Us Your Biz live at Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 FM studios, formerly that of WWNN, which we still are, but now we are part of Vic Canellis Radio, and we are now Oldies during the day, and we are community-based broadcasting through AMP in the evening. So happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you, Freddie.
Happy Tuesday to you.
I think Freddie is
Happy
just
Tuesday.
coming out of his 4th of July hangover that you got to party at the amphitheater last night till very wee hours of the morning. So it's
Very
nice.
wee
It's
hours.
nice to have you, I think, hopefully waking up a little bit. The morning
We
show
are.
was a little the afternoon, a little better. Tonight, you there?
I'm here.
You're there. Give us a call live at the radio station tonight. You definitely want to meet this author, and we have some, can we do some giveaways?
You can give them all away.
All right, we're going to see if we can give some of these books away. They are unbelievable. 888-565-1470. Say hi to Dan. We've got an amazing author joining us tonight. We've got Frank Ruffolo of FC Literary Publishing. But Frank is here with us, and an array of books that have left us speechless because the messages are so profound. And we've been talking about this all week since you joined us. I'm really excited to have you join us here on the radio. Freddie's on the other side.
Excited to be here.
Running this. So welcome, Frank. I've got books I've never been on set where I've got more props than people. But these books are so compelling. Let's give a little background. And I don't know why I keep picking this one. A little background into you.
Background into me.
You were not always an author.
No, I was not.
When did you start writing?
I started writing around 2009, 2008.
And what started the interest? What intrigued you to really do it?
I woke up one morning and told my wife, Christine, I had a great idea for a movie. So I started in a notebook, started writing the storyline. And after about 3 or 4 pages, I said, this is getting kind of interesting. So I went onto my laptop and then I started writing, which ended up being my second book.
Which was what? Do I have it here?
Trihedral Chaos is my second book.
Okay.
And while I was in the middle of writing that book, I got the inspiration to write my first book, which is Gabriel's Chalice. So at that time, I was writing 2 books at the same time.
And what's interesting is the calling you have. You had told us on the set last week that every day, every morning when you leave for work, you would open the Bible.
Right. Just my morning inspiration, I would open the Bible. Whatever I would focus on that early in the morning, first thing I would see would be my morning inspiration for the day. And one morning, I opened up to New Testament, Luke 21:11. Now, for those who don't know, Luke 21:11, that's when Jesus was telling his disciples what's going to happen when he returns, even though they didn't realize what he was talking about at the time. But what Luke 21:11 says, there will be plagues and earthquakes in various places. There'll be terrors in the sky and great signs. So I read it, said, okay, thank you, went to work. 3 mornings in a row, on a blind open of the Bible, I opened up to the same passage, Luke 21:11. So something told me at that point, maybe I should write about this. So that's why I stopped writing the first book and then wrote Gabriel's Chalice, which is basically the months leading up to Judgment Day.
Wow. And this was everything, no one told you this, these were just things in your mind that you had to put out.
Right. That's like I tell everybody, it's the voices in my head. So they told me what to write and I wrote.
Which is like, people who say voices, others say the angels, and your guidance by the archangels, we feel. in our opinion, of what's telling. This one is year 2028, which isn't too far away
Not
now.
too far away.
Right? You wrote this one about 2010,
About
2011?
2009. It was published in 2011, so I wrote it around 2009, 2010.
And here we are in 2022, and everything we're facing, this is plagues, pestilence, vast global disasters, suddenly erupt.
Right.
You just gave me the chills. I'm reading it, Christine, and I'm getting the chills doing this. And you're talking about this one for a movie? You've got 3 right now movie scripts.
That's one. Gabriel's Chalice is one. Blue Falcon is the other one. And Stuck in Traffic is the other one.
Now, Blue Falcon is a different book because you have series. So you've got the Jack Steinhouse series, and
Right.
then some of these are standalone.
Right. One. Stuck in Traffic is a standalone.
That's
That
this one. I'm
was-
telling you, I've got more props here than I.
That was
This is
that
Stuck in
was
Traffic.
that novel was that was done backwards. I helped finish the screenplay first, and then I was so taken by the story of the screenplay, I wrote the novel based on the screenplay. Usually, you write a screenplay based on the novel. I did backwards on that one. So,
And this is a totally different genre than Gabriel's Chalice, than I want to say the other ones that I'm looking at here. Lady of the
right.
Harbor. These are the
I
Jack
write
Steinhouse.
I write in 3 basic genres: faith-based science fiction, murder mystery, action, and that's sort of like a crime action standalone.
Now, Stuck in Traffic, let's tell everyone a little synopsis of what this is, because it's totally different than the other
Right.
ones.
Stuck in Traffic it was taken from it's a fictionalized version of actual occurrences of people that were forced into human trafficking. And human trafficking does not necessarily just mean sex trade. Human trafficking covers forced labor, sex trade, and organ harvesting.
And was this one of the stories that came when you opened the Bible? Was this a calling also?
No, that was based on a fellow coworker of mine who died way too soon. Her name was Rose Warner. She was writing. One of her passions was trying to expose human trafficking. So she was writing a screenplay that she wanted to produce, and it was writer's block. Got stuck in the middle. Called me up and said, "Can you finish this play for me?" So I did, and she then tragically passed away a few months later, and I wrote the book based on the screenplay.
And it says on the back here, on the back cover, $1 from the purchase of every sale of this book is donated to the American Cancer Society in Rose's name.
Right.
So you finished this book in her memory.
In her memory, because she died from cancer. I had cancer, so we were kindred spirits.
You know, Christine, your stories, you're such a remarkable couple. And every time I'm with you, I get more and more information. This one, I feel like this is amazing. Definitely calling, because we definitely want to give one of these books away, or all of these books away. 888-565-1470. This is the one that Freddie wants to start with, who is doing whatever he's doing right now, running our show. 10048. This is part of the Jack Steinhouse
That's part of the
series.
Jack Stenhouse series. There's 4 books. That's the 3rd. Jack started as a homicide detective in Fort Lauderdale and then moved to New York. So what that story is, 15 years after the trade tower collapse, there was a gold depository store and coin dealer that lost all its inventory in the collapse, and $10 million worth of gold went missing. 15 years later, they found the manager of that store, who was reportedly died in the tower, poisoned to death at the south pool of the new Trade Tower Memorial Park with a gold coin in his hand. So, being that's part of Jack's precinct, he went to investigate, and him and his team have to figure out who killed this ghost of 9/11, where has he been for 15 years, how did he escape the Trade Tower, and where's the gold?
And according to what some are saying, that this actually may have been somewhere in truth based, as far as the gold and the idea.
There is a story that there was a gold dealer in the Trade Tower that $10 million of gold went missing, supposedly.
We'll never know, right? And they
But
never
you
found
never
it.
know. Well, you don't even know if they found it. They could have,
But all the stories are so unbelievable to me. Tell me about Blue Falcon, because just the picture of it, everything is so different than some of these other ones. We're talking faith-based, Stuck in traffic. This looks more futuristic.
Well, Blue Falcon, what that is there is a corrupt president who's being impeached. He's running a scandalous administration.
Can you even imagine that happening?
I wrote that in 2015, by the way, so that's before everything. And the witnesses being called to testify against the president in the impeachment trial by the special prosecutor are being assassinated by the president's lover.
I have to ask, as you write these, you're writing 2015, you're writing this book, not even knowing anything, no politics, nothing. These are just the voices in your
Right.
head that tell you to write. When things start happening recently, does it give you chills? Do you take a pause? Christine's shaking her head, yes. What does it
I take
feel
a pause
like
and
for you?
I usually promote my book and say I'm a soothsayer, when it comes out. So my muse, I was told, is Archangel Uriel, which is the archangel for writers. So whatever he tells me
Is what you write.
is what I write.
That one is truly remarkable. Now this one, I'm going to let you pronounce this.
That's Italian. Distruzione della Rocchia.
Yeah, I could not even do that one justice. This is another faith-based.
No, the only faith-based books I have are the three sci-fi books.
Isn't this one which is the one about the Pope?
Well, that's about the Pope. So I don't know if you call it faith-based,
Well,
then yeah.
I think.
What that is the three compadres that were in the first book in that series, which is the Trihedral Chaos, are drawn out of retirement. The main protagonist now lives on the Amalfi Coast with his wife, and what happened is the Pope excommunicated all the Catholic members of the mafia, and the Capo di Capo got upset and said that can't happen. So he teamed up with a caliphate in Africa, and they're attempting to assassinate the Pope. And our fellows got pulled out of retirement to try to stop the assassination.
Does it even amaze you, all of these stories that come forward? This isn't one book of the angels or the voices in your head. You've got an entire library of books and different stories.
Right.
When it comes out, when you're writing, do you realize what you're writing? Or it just comes out and you look at it? 'Cause
No,
you
it
tell
just-
me you write quickly.
What it does is I choose the story. The story comes to me. I know how the story is going to start. I know how the story is going to end. And then I start writing and the characters take over.
And the movies are going to take over as well. And what's happening on that front? I know you've sent some of those out. You sent some.
Well, Blue Falcon is with, I've got an associate in California that's working on Blue Falcon to get that into a series. I have an A actor that's got Gabriel's Chalice in that screenplay. And I've got an agent working on Stuck in Traffic.
You definitely have. This one, I can't imagine Blue Falcon not taking off. The thing is, it's going to be a little bit close to home.
That's going to be closer to home.
Yes, Blue Falcon is going to be a little bit closer to home, so that's going to be interesting to see that actually, come
Yes.
forward. They had Scandal and they had all these TV shows on before anything had happened, and now here you are with this entire book that comes out. What fascinates Freddie, and I'm going to speak for him because he's just sitting down, is Lady of the Harbor and the spiritual. We call it spiritual because we know where you're getting ideas
Right.
from, right? So they're not that they're spiritually based; they're spiritually based from your mind. Is what we find so intriguing, is what we do.
And some of the greatest books in history have been written that way. They were written with people telling them what to write and how to write it and deliveries. And then you saw these things happening. And this is what fascinates me about Frank, is that he's going through this whole thing, and his books are coming true.
Yes.
Now,
Or have
people-
come true.
They have. And people think I'm nuts when I say this, but this is, if you read these books, you'll realize that they were written, 12 years ago?
I write at an average about one a year, so I've got 10. I started in 2011. I've got 5 more in process, so
This one is about the impeachment of a president to be made into a series.
Now, when did he write that book?
2015.
2015.
Which is
Right?
really,
A little close to home.
it is. How do you answer that?
Well, that's what we're talking about. You know, those who, and it's the naysayers, and not that it matters what anybody says.
Nope.
This is the stories that you're getting out.
That's the stories I'm
And
getting
some of the
out.
things that you and Christine showed us after we aired last week are fascinating, that you were both so faith-based. Have you always been?
No.
Really?
No.
What changed or when?
Gee, what changed?
Life.
Life. It just an happenstance, you know. It just something happened, and we were taken over, I guess you could say.
Let me ask a
calling.
different question away from the books. So now you have shown us, or anybody who reads these books, things that that you are probably going to see in the future, for lack of a better phrase. And you're currently writing 5 more books. And I'm afraid to ask you, what the hell are you writing about?
The 4 of the 5 books are just more in the Jack Stenhouse series. So they're more detective stories. Jack becomes he leaves the PD and he becomes a PI. So it's more of that type of storyline.
And what's the 5th book?
The 5th one is a historical fiction based on the Vietnam War. It's about 2 characters that I fictionalized their names, but they actually existed. One was the Supreme Sniper of the United States, and one was the Supreme Sniper of the BC. And they battle each other in the Vietnam War.
Now, the book that you wrote on the impeachment
Right.
in 215, right?
Right.
That one, the Blue Falcon.
Blue Falcon.
Was that a made-up book?
Made up?
In other words, you just
Yeah.
came out of your brain?
Completely.
So the one that you're writing, the 5th book you're writing now, is also made up.
They're all made up.
So that really doesn't matter.
Right. These are not based on any facts.
Basically a fiction writer just tells a whole bunch of lies, puts it in a book, and people buy it.
Okay.
This one was
That's all.
fascinating.
Until you write about impeachment on a president in 15, and it comes out 6 years later.
It comes out 6 years later.
But yeah, when you're saying it comes out, but you and I both know there's plenty of books that you have here that things have happened just like that.
Yep.
And the next 5 of this fictional stuff
Right.
is like it's like a who's who of you better learn something to come. So you don't feel like you're showing us something that's going to happen through your writings?
It's possible.
No, it's more than possible, Frank. You and I both know
Well,
that.
Frank doesn't deem
possible.
himself as a.
No, he doesn't come
He
out
doesn't
to
I'm
proclaim
say.
not,
himself to
I'm not going
say.
to proclaim myself as a new Nostradamus, but
I'm not saying that either.
It's. I just find it every once in a while amazing that I would write a story and then all of a sudden it's on ABC News.
Well, I give you 1. I give you even maybe 3.
Well,
But
here's what
every
we got 3
book-
here, right, Freddie?
Yeah, but every book.
I know.
I mean, 1, okay, 2, okay, you're lucky. Go play at the casino.
Unlike- yeah,
3.
yeah.
I mean, do you play
Maybe I should
lotto?
buy lottery tickets.
Yes. So obviously, you have something more to teach. I mean, these books are one phase. Is there anything else that you want to let us in on, Frank, that maybe we should start paying attention to?
You need to get in touch with your guardian. Some people call them guardian angels. Some people call them guardians. The Book of Enoch calls them guardians, that there are guardians here. Everybody has a guardian angel. Everybody has an archangel that guides them in life. So what you need to do is try to get in tune with them. And when you get in tune with them, they will tell you things.
And how long
And
did
people are
it
gonna
take
say,
you?
How long or how did you?
Well, him. Forget about people for now. I just
Him?
want to ask Frank. Well, obviously, do you show people how to do that?
There's not too much you can show. What you need to do is get to a quiet place, clear your mind. Get to a quiet place, clear your mind, preferably in the dark, maybe right before you go to sleep. Clear your mind and just first ask your guardian angels what their name are. Just sit there with a blank mind, and a name will come to you.
Wow.
And I was told by a prophet that Archangel Uriel was my archangel, but I have two guardian angels. Their names are David and Jason.
Now, do you know a David and a Jason that could be your guardians?
I have no friends that are named David. I have no friends that are named Jason.
No family? Because a lot of times they'll say your guardians are those that have passed, your loved ones that are always surrounding with you.
But do that. Before you go to sleep one night, clear your mind. Don't think of anything. Don't think of business. Don't think of the sports. Don't think of your girlfriend. Don't think of your boyfriend. Clear your mind and just ask. You have a guardian angel. Just ask your guardian angel what the names are, what his name is or her name is.
Now, Christine, have you done this?
Just sit quiet. And the name that pops into your head is going to be the angel.
So obviously, the books that you've written, and to you, there is no message in these books. It's just books.
The only books that have a message are the sci-fi based series that I wrote, which is basically God's eternal love and man's lack of faith.
He's a tough
Interesting.
nut, this Frank.
This one, well, I'm looking at this book right here, and it's talking about, I'm going to, again, Tres Archangelis.
That's Latin. Tres Archangelis, which means three archangels.
And this is with 3 keys, and this is fascinating to me as well, about people losing their faith.
Well, the
And
thing,
it's always the number in 3, right? We talk
it's always
about
in
this
three.
a lot.
We've talked about that, and we've talked about a lot of the things that Frank talks about. But the amazing thing here is that he's put it into writing. You know, a lot of people can talk the talk and talk and talk. A lot. And I don't mean anything about rabbis or priests or anything.
Right.
But there's a lot of yay, okay? But very few in my world I have ever seen write it. So you write a book about a president being impeached, it's in black and white. Now, you didn't know that was going to happen unless you see the future and you ain't telling us. But these
I
things,
can't say if I see the future or not. I get stories put in my head from I call them the voices that talk to me. They give me the stories. Now, if they're telling me something from the future, am I that vessel? I could be.
you could be.
Look at this one, Freddie.
He's a vessel.
The 3 keys to unlock the power of the guardians and to protect these kids, people that don't have faith, and in this family is fascinating. This came to you as well the same way.
Right.
3 keys. How do you? I know we're running out of time already. Best way to get the books.
Best way to get the books is go to my author page on Amazon. Just go to Amazon and just type my name in, Frank A. Ruffolo, and all my books are there.
And tune in because more to come.
Ebooks and print.
More to come because we definitely want to give some of these books away. So you can call us here at the radio station, 888-565-1470. You can always call us at the studio. Write us in on Facebook, on social media. More to come because these stories are fascinating. Frank and his wife are just so compelling and so kind, and there's so much information. And in a time right now when we're in darkness a lot on the news, at the point that we have to turn off the TV, feed yourself some faith, get in touch with your guardians. They do walk among us, and they are always there watching over us. As they say, you are never alone. And contact Faith and Christine. They've got some great information out there. You can always get in touch with them on Frank's website or through us at the cafe. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for
It has
having
been
me.
an absolute pleasure. We're going to keep going?
You have to go until 27 finishes.
Oh, we're going to keep going. Do you have a favorite
Do I have a favorite book?
you've written so far? Or,
The next one.
all right, the next one. Christine, you have a favorite that he's written so far?
Gabriel's Chalice.
Why? Gabriel's Chalice.
I just love the storyline.
The story is spectacular. Jordana's giving me I'm good to go. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. We're switching over systems here as we are now Vic Canellis Radio and Oldies, so just bear with us as we keep going. More to come. Gabriel's Chalice. I don't even know which one I want to read first. This one seems to resonate with home a whole lot. Plagues, pestilence, and global disasters. I mean, 2028 seems to be around the corner. Say goodnight, Lucy. Say goodnight, Gracie. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. We've got
Good night.
Jordana Foster, the Ready, Set, Go Beyond show, joining us on the other side of this commercial break. Bye-bye.
Strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.